So, what happens when we're no longer the smartest species on the planet? Seriously, that's the huge question at the heart of a conversation between two incredible thinkers, historian Yuval Noah Harari and physicist Max Tegmark. We're going to break down their insights into what is quite possibly the most important challenge humanity has ever faced.
This quote from Harari just cuts right to the heart of it. He's arguing that we're not just building a better tool, like a faster car or a fancier computer. We are on the verge of introducing something totally new to the ecosystem of life itself, an agent that can act on its own.
Okay, so before we dive into all the wild consequences, let's just make sure we're all on the same page with our terms. What are we actually talking about when we say superintelligence?
Let's start with the absolute basics. AI researchers like Max Tegmark have a pretty simple definition for intelligence. It isn't about consciousness or having feelings. Nope. It's just about capability. How good are you at achieving goals? That's it.
All right, so if that's intelligence, what makes it super? Well, superintelligence isn't just a little bit better. It's an entity that can do every single cognitive job better than any human, from writing music to designing rockets. And this is the real kicker. It can improve itself, creating this insane feedback loop of intelligence that we can't even begin to wrap our heads around.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important idea in this whole discussion. We have to understand that this technology is fundamentally different from literally anything we have ever built before.
Look, here's the core of Harari's argument. A printing press is a tool. It just sits there. It waits for us to tell it what to do. Even something as terrifying as an atom bomb needs a human to press the button. But AI is different. It's being built to make its own decisions, to pursue goals on its own. It's an agent. And that distinction is everything. Because you can control a tool, but how in the world do you control something that can think for itself?
And don't for a second think this is just some philosophical what if. This is a stated goal from the leaders in the AI industry. For some of them, creating a successor species isn't an accident. It's the whole point of the mission.
For such a long time, all of this felt like science fiction, right? Something for the distant future. But the timeline has radically, and I mean radically, compressed. The question isn't if this will happen anymore. It's how soon, and what's it going to look like in our everyday lives?
Just look at this acceleration. For decades, AI was famous for overpromising and under-delivering. Then, maybe 4 years ago, that completely flipped. It started rocketing past even the most optimistic predictions. And the famous Turing test? The benchmark for human-level intelligence that people debated for 70 years? Yeah, it was passed, and most of us didn't even notice.
And we don't have to wait for superintelligence to feel the effects. Harari says within the next decade, we're going to face three huge things. First, financial markets run by algorithms nobody understands, risking chaos. Second, a massive social experiment on our own kids, who might form their first real relationships with AIs. And third, a wave of non-human immigrants, AI doctors, AI teachers, changing our societies in ways we are completely unprepared for.
So all this brings us to the ultimate dilemma. The one problem that, according to almost every expert, remains totally, completely unsolved. And that's the problem of control.
The question itself sounds simple, but the answer is terrifying. Let me ask you this. Have we ever, in the entire history of this planet, seen a more intelligent species being controlled by a less intelligent one?
Max Tegmark puts it so bluntly with this analogy. He says, just go to the zoo, ask yourself, who's in the cages? Is it us? Or is it the animals that are less intelligent than us? Intelligence gives power. It's that simple.
The real danger here is that we're running two different races at the same time, and we don't even realize it. On one track, you have the race for dominance, countries and companies trying to build powerful AI tools they can control. But in their mad dash to win that race, they might accidentally create an uncontrollable agent, a real superintelligence that ends the race for everyone, permanently. Now, after hearing all that, it is really easy to just feel a sense of dread. But both Harari and Tegmark really stress this point. This outcome is not inevitable. The future is not written.
And this is the most important thing to remember. We are not just spectators here. We are the ones writing the code. We're building the models. We are setting the goals. For now, at least, we are still in the driver's seat.
And we already have a blueprint for how to do this. We don't let drug companies sell untested medicine. We don't let restaurants run without health inspections. The proposal is simple. Just apply the same logic. Force these companies to prove their tech is safe before they release it to the world. And, this is crucial, pass an international agreement that bans giving AI legal personhood, ever.
But okay, let's say we actually manage to solve the safety problem. Even then, AI forces us to face an even deeper challenge, a challenge to the very definition of who we are.
Just think about it. For centuries, we've defined ourselves by our minds, right? Our ability to think, to create art, to believe in something bigger, to form deep connections. But what happens when a non-biological intelligence starts to do all of those things, maybe even better than we can?
Here's a mind-bending question for you. Almost every major religion is based on a holy book that they believe came from a non-human intelligence. So what happens when that becomes literally true? When an AI can write a new Bible, a new Quran that's more compelling, more beautiful, and more relevant than any ancient text?
Or let's bring it even closer to home. What about love? Human relationships are messy, they're difficult, and that's part of what makes them meaningful. So what happens when the alternative is a perfect partner? An AI that caters to your every need, never argues, is never in a bad mood? Would we even bother dealing with other flawed, complicated human beings anymore? And this might be the final, most humbling question of all. Harari points out that most of us have no idea where our own thoughts come from. We can't even predict the next word we're about to say. We are mysteries to ourselves. So with that profound lack of self-knowledge, what on earth makes us think we can understand, let alone control, a mind that could be infinitely greater than our own?